One of the things that fascinates me about fish is the multitude of strategies that they use to survive. So for many of the fish that live on these Kimberley reefs, camouflage is the key. And of course, one of the most common camouflage methods is to be drab, to be mottled, to merge and camouflage yourself in with the background. And things like the triple-tailed wrasse use this to great effect and can hide in the shadows underneath some of these ledges. And they just basically can't be seen for most of the time. Alternative to being inconspicuous is to be as conspicuous as possible. And some fish, like juvenile sweetlibs, get bawdy colours and they show off and they wriggle around and they look as weird as possible. So this, in some cases, might mimic a toxic flatworm or a nudibranch, for example, or perhaps a poisonous scorpionfish or a lionfish. And if you can't camouflage, if you have bright colours, then one of the best strategies is to stay close to the reef. Tight coral heads, lots of little gaps. You can dart in there in a flash if something appears, and of course if you're a big predator you've got no chance of getting one of these little tiny fish out. And this is a great strategy that's used by many of the smaller fish on the reef, things like damselfish for example. Otherwise, safety in numbers. If you live in a big school, as many as possible, then the probability that you get eaten is going to be greatly reduced. And others, like these juvenile striped catfish, use the same strategy as zebras. So they're lots of little stripes, fast-moving fish, a dense school, and as a predator comes in, it doesn't know which one to pick on. So these same strategies are also important if you're a predator. So things like the lionfish can camouflage themselves and look like a feather star or some piece of coral, and as they wave around in the bottom of the reef there, little fish swim close and they can just grab them. And another strategy, if you're a predator of sorts, is to hide in a little tube or to hide in a piece of coral. And like the saber-toothed blenny, an unsuspecting fish swims past, you can dart out of your tube, grab a piece of the fish and dart back into the safety of the tube, and you've got your meal for the day. So these are just some of the strategies that the fish in the Kimberley are using to survive, but ultimately it's all about staying safe as long as you can and surviving to reproduce.